against Nyokin, if I'm not mistaken, where they had a lot of lag, and he was not very happy about that. He had some very choice words both before, during, and after the game. Didn't have a fun time. So hopefully the connection is good, but it is Poland to Peru. So I think history may be about to repeat itself.
Oh yeah, but let's see if Julia will hold his emotions behind and will be able to get through all the game without being mad at his opponent for lagging. So, because this is what Julia is known for, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way of characterizing Julia. Like, we've got his statistics up there on screen, but all you need to know is that if the game starts lagging, he might not be too happy about it.
Oh yeah, exactly. So these are the statistics, these are the profiles made by Lady Singerka. Great, really great graphics and profiles. Thank you for her for that. And yeah, and the match will be on Crossing Field, so I will create the game, and I think we can go for that.
I am ready to go. I'm joining with our super secret game name and password that nobody in chat will ever guess.
Exactly.
Zero sends me this 24 character long password full of like capital letters and lowercase letters and exclamation points and upside down characters. You'll never guess our passwords. Don't even try to join our lobby. It's too advanced.
Yeah, it's like encrypted like a Bitcoin. It's really hard to do.
That's right. Oh, we got BSL. It's Bitcoin Starlings. Anyway,
yeah,
we're into the lobby for our second game of BSL Season 8. We're having a good time, and I hope you are too. Just a reminder, as we get into our next game, get out there, spread the word. BSL 8's on. We're starting things off with our second game, CastrO versus Julia.
Okay. So, spawning on the, I guess it's like 4 o'clock position as a red Zerg directly from Poland. Super Gosu, very old school Zerg. He's like playing since 2005 for sure, competitively. So this is Julia.
And his opponent on the opposite side of the map, because it's a 2-player map and it's symmetrical, is CastrO, who does definitely look like he's the CEO of like a yacht company or something. I don't know. This guy is balling out of control. So let's figure out what's going on here, because this is ZVZ on Crossing Field. And there's a couple of weird things about Crossing Field. So first of all, you've got that back expansion, but specifically in ZVZ, this map makes the natural expansion pretty difficult to hold because there's that backdoor ramp. So a lot of times players will sneak Zerglings through there when their opponents least expect it and try to snipe drones. It can be really, really aggressive.
So this is definitely an option, but if you will go for back expansion, if you will go, for example, for 12 pull, you can go for your fast expansion after the 12 pull and have easier time to defend against 9 pull because you can use a ramp to do it. So this is definitely an option, and like Julia is going for 9 pull. So if CastrO wants to survive, yeah, he has to go for 12 pull.
And obviously both players know exactly where to scout each other, which is important in ZVZ, because if you have the scouting advantage, that can really give you a big lead if you are able to counter your opponent's build order. So they'll scout each other here pretty soon, and you're right, that 9 pool is going to be pretty scary.
Yeah, and let's see what Julia will do with that, because like back in the days, like even like not so much time ago, it's like I think 2 or 3 years ago, I thought that if you will go for 9 pull and if you will not succeed, there is no chance to come back if your opponent is having expansion. But now, recently, the 9 pull players are learning how to like transition into the 12 pull or 12 hatch, and it's still possible to keep up and play a longer game after a 9 pull. So it's all depend on the skill, like everything in StarCraft.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of maps really do change over time based on how players like to play. I was talking with Tasteless and Artosis about the map Destination, which used to
Oh yeah.
be like one of the most popular Icy Cup maps of all time. But nowadays, people are playing so weird. It's crazy. It's not that balanced anymore, and so it's definitely not one of the most played maps anymore. And the same thing goes here for Crossing Field because people are definitely learning how to hold on, how to macro out of a 9-pool opener, because it doesn't have to be super ultra mega all in like you can see it do. So, for example, in this situation, CastrO has his high ground on the ramp. He's got a perfect wall there, and so he's able to safely take this back expansion.
Yeah, and it's a really good situation for him because he's not losing any drone. I think he even added 2 more drones, so it's really ballsy. And if Julia would go for the links, he would definitely win that because CastrO made 6 links, and after that he made 3 drones, so it's extremely greedy. But fortunately for him, Julia went for the drones too. So CastrO is having huge advantage. Look at that. CastrO and Julia are having the same amount of links almost. And the same timing of the lair, but CastrO is having expansion. This is huge difference.
Oh no, it's actually going to be Julia able to break through the front wall. 4 Zerglings getting in. They're at single-digit HP, some of them, but if they can pick off a drone here, that would be absolutely huge, and it's so difficult to get Zerglings out of your base. He actually just has no units.
Yeah, but he's holding on very well, and like if he will lose 2 drones, they will have equal number of drones, but CastrO will have hatchery advantage. So I think he needs something more than killing 2 or 3 drones to get back to this game.
Yep, you are absolutely right, Zero. He did take out a couple of drones here. If he gets maybe 1 more, that'll be okay. But this is a 9-pool against a player that has a base already up, and I guess it's not really mining, but it's using the larva. It's going to be producing either Zerglings or drones, and so I still think that CastrO is in a pretty good spot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, even if he will not make the Spire that quickly, he can still go for the Spores. But now, when Julia went for expansion on his own, it's interesting, because like now CastrO is having huge link advantage. He's having 14 links to, like, I don't know, 4 links from Julia. Ooh, he killed 1 more drone.
Wow, that is okay. That really sucks. I mean, you can really tell Julia, very, very skilled. He's continuing. Oh no, he gets another one.
Whoa! Very nice micro from our old school Polish Zerg. Very well
Yeah,
done.
did that Zergling like have the adrenal glands upgrade or something? I felt like that attacked pretty fast. That drone just exploded, and the Zergling that killed it, even Julia's Zergling was being attacked at the same time. So I guess that was a wounded drone from earlier, but still very, very good control. And so now he's only 2 or 3 drones down, which is not that much because he already has his own expansion. So I think he actually evened it up really well.
Oh yeah, definitely. But now he's having, like, CastrO is having 5 drone advantage, but he's having no mutas. But fortunately for him, Julia decided to kill overloads instead of going for his main base.
Yeah, yeah, that is actually a big deal. I mean, taking out overlords is the safe way to play, but certainly on the other side of the map, the Spire is just now finishing, and there's not really a lot of larva to make mutas with.
Oh, and he's making 4 Scourges, so if Julia will micro it perfectly, he should have advantage because he's not wasting, let's call it wasting money for Scourges. So
right, and Julia's getting the +1 flyer weapons upgrade, so
yeah.
he'll be able to kill Scourge very quickly.
Huh.
Well, and a lot of other stuff too. I'm just talking about the Scourge. Because it is weird to get flyer weapons, because usually you're playing Muta versus Muta, but they do really well at popping Spore Colonies if he thought that CastrO might go that direction. And they do well against Scourge, but he doesn't need to lose any mutas to them like that, already taking 1 Scourge hit.
Yeah, so you're right. So the attack is helping a lot against fighting against Scourges and Spores, but the Carapace, the biggest advantage of the Carapace is that the lowering the damage you're attacking from the bounce of the mutas, and this is the biggest advantage from the Carapace.
Yeah, certainly. We're not quite there yet. I do feel that Julia had a really good opportunity because he was so far ahead in his mute account to just run across the map and do a lot of damage to CastrO. Because CastrO just had nothing, especially after he lost all those drones to the Zerglings. Like, I mean, I don't think CastrO is in a very good spot. And obviously now things are a lot more even, but especially when this +1 weapons finishes, Julia is going to have a great opportunity to do a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, we are saying that Carapace is better, but if you're having even weapon upgrade advantage, it's still great, it's still huge, and it's giving you, like, almost, if you are fighting 11 versus 11 mutas, it's always 100% win for the player with the with the attack upgrade, so it's great.
There's one Sticky Scourge scouting the natural and soon to run into the main to see exactly what's going on. But Julia's going for it. He knows his +1 weapons is about to finish, and so he's going to try to attack right as that upgrade finishes and win a big engagement and win the game after that.
Yeah, but I don't know if I like it because he still have like 600 gas, and I'm really a fan of attacking as a Zerg in ZVZ when you have your gas spent. So maybe it would be better for him to make one more upgrade and then attack, because it's like he's actually having upgrade advantage, but CastrO made like 3 more mutas because he spent like now it's 200 gas more than him, so he would lose this battle. That's good for him that he didn't engage them.
Yeah, you can kind of fake yourself out by thinking, okay, it's my time to attack, and then you make an attack that you shouldn't make, even though you have that upgrade advantage, and throw away the game. So both players are playing this weird, I'm going to build mutas. No, I'm going to build mutas. And so this is the Mutalisk arms race right now, which is, it's weird because it looks kind of passive, but either player could just kill the other one if they didn't do this.
Oh yeah. Oh, and so we will have Carapace. So I'm sure that CastrO will want to attack when we will have Carapace attack, right? When he will have Carapace upgrade. So we will have 1-1 versus 1-0 for Julia, so it will be a great situation for him if he will be able to make enough mutas.
Right. So yeah, it's all about who can make more mutas. And I thought one player would maybe build a macro hatchery or something like that, but we haven't seen that yet. You know, one characteristic of Crossing Field is that every base has a gas expansion. There's no like mineral onlys. Oh, well, I guess, no, yeah. So you can just get a lot of gas. Maybe 2 of the bases, like the base in the middle and the back base, are only have 2,000 mineral gas at them. But there's still gas everywhere. So for Zergs, especially if you're building tons of Mutalisks, that can actually be a really good way to just build crazy numbers by taking a 3rd base, but it is very risky.
So would you go for maybe like some kind of Devourers or Hive Tech as some of the players in this situation? Because this is definitely going for the longer game, especially that CastrO is having already, and CastrO and Julia are having already pretty good saturation in the natural, right?
Yeah, it's really weird because the player that makes the decision to tech can just die because he can't make as many mutas. So if he can do that without his opponent finding out, then sure, that's a big advantage. But I think at this point, especially because they're staying on 2 base for this long, they're both really worried about the other player just having 1 more Mutalisk and winning the game because of that. So that's why they're both going for Carapace. But I do think, hey, once the Carapace finishes, if Julia picks a fight, he'll probably win.
Yeah, he should in theory, because like it's only if we will judge on the gas, because both players are like mined almost the same amount of gas. Maybe Julia mined 100 more. He's still having like at least 3 mutas less than CastrO, if we will look only at the gas. So I don't think this 3 mutas will make that big of a difference, because the upgrade should do more, right?
Right, you're totally right. One thing that Julia is doing a really good job of is clearing out all of the scouting on his side of the map. So CastrO keeps running single Zerglings across to scout either in the natural or the 3rd base location. And finally, these players are taking 3rd bases, but they're only doing it after they cleared out their opponent's vision, so neither player knows that the other one is going for a 3rd base. which is I don't know, just kind of interesting. I really like the style of ZVZ.
It's at least a little bit more like original approach from the players. And now CastrO, if he will click on the mutas, he will see that this is already 1-1 for the Julia. So the perfect moment to attack for him will be just when his 1-1 will be ended and 2-1 car pace for Julia will not be there. So, but it's very small gap, so it's really hard to know when will be this time to attack.
Yeah, I don't think either player is really going to attack. At this point, you could probably be pretty greedy again. Like, you don't have to keep making a million billion Mutalisks. Just because I don't think either player really wants to attack. They're both continuing to just only make Mutalisks and maybe a few extra drones. But actually, Julia now has the higher drone count, which is kind of interesting because he definitely didn't start the game that way. But hey, finally, here he goes across the map, picking kind of a weird attack timing, but just trying to kill off these single scouting Zerglings everywhere.
And Rapid, this is first ZVZ of BSL8 and we already have 100 supplies in the ZVZ. This is like unique.
Oh yeah, no, I love late game ZVZ. I think out of all the matchups, mirror matchups and non-mirror matchups, I think late game ZVZ is the least played and the most interesting because there's so many ways to just die, even though you have a million units. If you just don't have enough, especially if if your mutas are out of position and their mutas get into your base and kill all your drones, like, well, too bad, you still lose the game. So
yeah,
Julia is being very active with his mutas now, and I think it's really going to start rewarding him by getting all these Zergling kills, keeping the scouting information off of his side of the map. And he will actually have that carapace finishing up here pretty soon. So in theory, that means his mutas are still more valuable and more effective than CastrO's.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially when, as you said, when this carapace will be done, this will be the really good like advantage for him. But as we can see, like I think CastrO seen that he's down in the upgrades and he's already going for the Hive Tech. So it will be interesting, yeah.
No, Hive Tech is awesome. I love everything about Hive Tech. Probably all we're going to see it be used for is Devourers, but it's also going to be used for, additional upgrades. And are we going to... The end-all be-all is either Queens or Defilers, because those Mutalisks just stop existing at that point. It's either they get plagued or ensnared, and they just blow up. Like, nobody cares about mutas that are plagued or ensnared. So, this is really cool, because it is that kind of rock, paper, scissors, like, can I get the tech out that I need? And I think the answer is going to be yes. Julia does not have that Hive Tech. He built the Queen's Nest, so he does not have that Hive Tech, whereas CastrO does have the Hive Tech. It's just about to finish. We'll see what he does with it then.
Yeah, exactly. Julia just started his Hive, so he's like one Hive behind, one time of building the Hive behind, so it's definitely some time for CastrO to do something with it, but I'm wondering if he will cancel his carapace to transition his Spire into Greater Spire? Oh, I think Mr. Rapid... Okay, Mr. Rapid is back.
Yes, sorry about that.
No problem.
You were telling me what you were wondering about.
I'm wondering if CastrO will delay his carapace upgrade on the Spire to make Greater Spire after the Hive will be done, because it's like 30% done, and now I'm wondering if he will make this decision or he will go maybe just for the Defiler or something like that.
Yeah, let's see. Obviously, if you miss your Plague, if you miss your Ensnare, then that sucks and your thing doesn't do anything and you probably lose because you don't have enough Mutalisks. So it's risky to go for Spellcasters. It's a lot more consistent to just go for Devourers, because Mutalisks are going to be what defines this game. But this is still kind of weird because we're already at the 15-minute mark and each player only has 3 bases. Because the 4th base is pretty far out there and certainly much closer to the opponent and kind of vulnerable. So this is a really weird kind of late game ZVZ we're having here. But finally, we get our answer. Julia is going for Ensnare.
Oh, wow. And he's going for Greater Spire, quicken the CastrO. That's shocking. But fortunately for CastrO, he should have the upgrades advantage being equalized, so this will be huge for him.
Yeah, that's right. So the way that would work is Julia would ensnare CastrO's mutas, but because his mutas have a carapace upgrade, even though they're not dealing damage, they're not really taking a ton of damage either. So probably they can outlast the ensnare and maybe still be okay. I don't know. Mutalisk math is something nobody can do. So it's very. Oh, he's also getting a Defiler mount.
Oh,
so Julia's
wow.
just going for every tech in the world.
Your ultimate composition in ZVZ.
Yeah. Yeah, you get all 3 colors of goo. You get the green goo, you get the purple goo, you get the red goo.
And I was always dreaming about this animation because in StarCraft 2 there are this huge this huge unit balls. There sometimes it's on one ball 200, and I imagine if you will go for Plague, EMP, and 1 Muta killing it all with the bounce, it would be great, great animation.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh yeah. I would love to see that. Yeah, there are all of these like, you know, everybody dreams of like nuking their opponent's army. Sorry, it's not going to happen. Maybe Radley's done that once or twice before, but for the most part, you're never going to see any of that. But you can tell that's exactly what Julia's doing. He's not doing the smart play. He's doing the I like pretty colors play. He's like, he really wants to see like a, I don't know, a double rainbow across the sky. He's trying to like, I don't know if there's a flag that has purple, red, and green, but if there is, somebody tweet that at me or post it in chat.
That's interesting.
That's yeah, certainly an interesting color. So one of the things the bullies on the playground would do to me is they'd be like, spell pig backwards and say funny colors. And so don't do that. That's a very mean thing to do. But the funny colors they're talking about are about to happen right now. So we've got the purple. We've got, actually there's no Defiler here, so we only have 2 out of 3 funny colors.
Yeah, but there are Devourers. Oh, not the best answer, but Devourers are dealing the huge damage to the Mutalisk, and they are... Yeah, Devourers are dealing huge value. Oh my god, this is so even battle.
I think Julia's just gonna crush it, right?
He should, because he was having the Devourers, so this unit is like the ultimate unit you need in air battles.
Yeah, Julia's just stomping it. Oh my god. Damn, okay, that was just not even close.
Whoa.
Well, that's late game ZVZ for you. You just have 20 minutes of absolutely nothing happening at all, and then the game ends. And you're just like, okay, well, you know, that was fun. I guess. Oh, sorry, I just realized when my call disconnected.
Yeah, because...
I disappeared from our studio.
Today we are using Discord because we had some Zoom problems, so sorry for that. It will be better tomorrow, guys.
Wow. Okay, well, surprisingly, one of the players won. I definitely thought neither was players gonna win that game for a while. But yeah, no, Julia, Devourers were just, it's so crazy because they both had basically the same number of mutas, and all he had is just like 2-3 Devourers, and all of a sudden he just wins the battle so hard. I think he might have had an upgrade advantage too, but either way, he stopped it. So Julia wins game number 2 of the day and will advance on to the